Ah! Hey guys, just got my laptop back from being fixed. Having some issues trying to get my RAM, because I sent it back to them with the original RAM that it came with, but I'm trying to get my RAM that I bought to upgrade it. That was the whole reason why I ended up screwing the computer up in the first place, is because I was trying to get 16 gigs of RAM to work on my laptop. It's supposed to take 16 gigs, but for whatever reasons it didn't pan out as such, and I thought I'd try to upgrade the BIOS to do that. And then of course, like I said, I turned it into a $1,000 brick. So what I got going on here, I got some skulls. These are skulls that I use for objective markers, and I'm painting different colors so that way we can use them for different things in the game. And this one here, I was just testing out a priming mix. This one here is actually painted with the purple paint that I used for the drop pods, and that took a long time for it to dry, this purple stuff, so that might mean part of the reason why I had problems with it when I was painting the pods, and I still got a whole bunch of it still mixed. So yeah, not much else really to say. Just gonna put some more coats on here. I managed to save a little bit of my red mix out of one of the containers that I had left it in, and then I just added a clear mat to it, and then I worked on a water to flow ratio and just testing it out. You can see here I'm just really kind of just coating it on there, but when it dries it tightens up real good. I don't know where I've been getting these little black flecks. I got clean water, and I know I have cleaned this brush out thoroughly, but for whatever reason I get these weird little black little flecks into, oop, a little excess there. I'm not really too over concerned about the black flecks because it just adds different amount of detail. We're so happy to see you, Sebastian. But yeah, I'm hoping to get at least 5 of these done in red, and another 5 in the cobalt blue. I'm trying to do, I don't really know how many, I don't remember how many skulls I have. I know I have at least enough to do 4 tables. So the next set of skulls, plan to do a silver. You can see here that the silver is taking a little, some time to build up there, but that's okay. The one thing I am not is a impatient person. First time I was putting on this red coat on these skulls, it was kind of freaky. It looked like defleshed skulls. The reason why it looked like it was defleshed is because there wasn't really any surface tension. You know, it looks pretty much, think of the purple as in red, because there wasn't any surface tooth for the paint to adhere to right away. So it would just collect to wherever it could and then set, and then I'd apply layer on top of layer to redden out the color. You can see here where it's pretty sparse with the red. And it's the red that I have here, like I said, it is my mix, but it's pretty transparent because I did mix it with a clear matte just to extend the color. And it does have water flow mixed into it too, so that's gonna make the red even more transparent. But it's turning out pretty good. These buggers are a little hard to hold on to. When I first started painting them with their first set of coats, they kept on popping on my fingers and messing up the paint job. So we'll let that one dry. And I think this one I might just cover up with my white primer that I'm working on here. So I'll wash my brush out. I'm gonna go ahead and cap this. Here's one of the critters that I use for my Warp Beast pack. I think they're called chimeras or something now in the new codex. I got some of the original cats too that I gotta put a better coat of paint on. Yeah, so there's my mix. And I'm not too worried about it being a clean brush for this part, since it is just a base coat. You can see here it lays on pretty nice though. Now this brush here I'm using, I wish I had the packaging for it, but for a very inexpensive brush, I have found it to be the best one for me. I've even been able to do some fine details with this brush. Now, like my other brushes I have that are like this, I do have some Citadel ones, but even the Citadel ones and some of the cheap ones I found that the oils in my finger causes the wood to crack, and then when I'm painting I get all these like red paint chips falling onto my models. Now this brush here is all plastic, even the flume is all plastic. The only thing that's not plastic is the bristles on it. And yeah, I really do like this brush. And even the hairs on it are really nice and soft too. For my finer details though, I have synthetic brushes that I use. Either I'm still working with trying to figure out if the synthetic brushes work best for the finer details or not. And this is my number 1 brush, and this is a number 2. And I thought I had more number 2s somewhere missing, but does okay as far as for fine detail. Why I particularly like the synthetic brushes is because when you're trying to do that fine detail, it's kind of a pain in the butt when your brush gives way on you. So when you're using the synthetic brush, it has a snap to it, so it doesn't really give away. So you can apply that paint with more control, at least to my experience so far. And again, it's this, It all depends on how experienced you are in the tool that you're using. I'm sure, I mean, we've seen plenty of videos out there of other painters having extremely good control with just natural hair brushes. But I've been using the synthetic brush also in my drawing, so that's probably why I've been partial to using the synthetic brushes in my painting, because I've been actually really enjoying how the synthetic brushes have been working for me in my drawings. Now I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the eye. Nope, a little too much. We'll spread that around. Some of you might be wondering, why am I have an airbrush and why am I painting my base coats? I actually find applying the paint with the brush more therapeutic than using the airbrush. So that is why I take all this time to go over it with the brush. And again, I am a patient person. If I really wanted to get everything done in one go, I would just go ahead and line them up and shoot them with the airbrush. I wouldn't use a can spray though. I have problems with the can spray paints for some reason. Oops. And I'll have to worry about, I'll do this jaw later. Just because I am running out of surface area to hold on to the skull. And this skull here, along with the other white skull, I will paint red. And I think I'm going to probably call it there and let that dry. This is the base coat mix here that I have will require about 24 hours for it to dry before I can really screw around with it, just so that the coat will set. Like this one here has already been setting for 24 hours, probably actually 48 now. Same with this one. And this one's, no, this one's been, yeah, 48 hours, but this one's got 2 coats to it already. Needs some on the bottom here. And this one has just 1 coat to it. I'll go ahead and coat the bottom here and then have the skull hang upside down. You can see here a little bit where it was resting. Just cover that up. And should be able to do a little bit here on the jaw. Let's see what happens here. If it balances okay. Oops, too much. Too much, too much, too much. There we go. Let that one dry. Well, maybe I can use a bottle. Put his head on there. There we go. That will keep him balanced. I'm going to move him out of the camera here. Let's go ahead and get a base coat on this guy. foot fell asleep already. Of course, these little buggers are a pain in the butt to get in the inside here, so hopefully I might have to just really dribble in some black wash in there. So yeah, like I said, when I had got the laptop and turned it on, make sure it was working. And then I went ahead and popped it open, took the one RAM that came with the computer out, and then before I had sent it in, I was able to get 12 gigs of my 16 gigs to work before it became a $1,000 brick. So I just went ahead and popped in 12 gigs of RAM again, thinking it was going to work. And then I was going to take it to the coffee shop and work out my tablet, because I haven't gotten that straightened out yet. Got to the coffee shop, booted it up, and gave me the blue screen of death. So came back home after having coffee and reading one of my trade magazines. Went ahead and cracked the case back open, took one of the RAMs out, tried to run it for a while, ran for a little bit, but then it would lock up on me in Photoshop. So I took one of the RAMs out of its place and put it into another spot, and now it seems to be working. It's working right now pretty decently with 8 gigs of RAM, and probably tomorrow, well actually this is tomorrow, but later today I might pop the case open and see if I can get either 12 or 16 to go. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed. It's supposed to be 16 gigs of RAM and I can't get the dang thing to work with 16. It's supposed to be my mobile graphic design station is what it's supposed to be. So that's what I got. I mean, it's a quad core i7 laptop. And I got, CS5 production suite. Would like to have Quark Express. I don't know what it is, but when I design business cards, I always like to design the business cards in Quark Express for some reason. Just found it to be naturally appealing. Now it looks like, you might be seeing some areas here where it looks like it's kind of pooled, but this paint, the acrylic paint, when it dries, it's going to shrink, so it'll tighten up against the details. And I'm just making sure I can get it pushed in to areas. And like I said, these areas here where I can't get the brush into, I'll probably just wash the heck out of it. Do want to be careful about letting areas get like open areas like this getting filled with paint, because then that part will fill in like the way how the paint is sitting. Get a little bit in the mouth here. Whoops, too much. That's good. There. So he's gonna sit for a while. And I got red on nose, red on nose. Don't know if I'll paint him red. Probably could put another coat on him. Still got some gray showing through. And here's One-Eye Willie. He's coming along. Just about done with him. I don't know how many hours I have spent on One-Eye Willie. Ooh, I just found where the other brush went off to. And it doesn't look pretty. I had it sitting in the water bucket. Well, that is, whoops. Better cover that. It's pretty interesting what happened here. The metal flume for this brush got tarnished a little bit. Interesting. Anyways, well, I found where my other, oh, this is a number 2, yeah, where I found my other number 2 went off to. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. This one, I don't know what that one is, but it's got a pretty decent point on it. Oh. Let's put another layer of silver on here. I got 2 different levels of silver. I got one silver here that is pretty bright. And then I got kind of like my base level silver. So that's what I've been using right now, is the base level silver on the skull. And once I get a decent coat of that, then I will transverse on over to the brighter silver. And go ahead and wash this. And then I should probably clean out that other bucket and upload this video. So yeah. So just go ahead and slap it on there now. Now that I got, you know, pretty much a thin coats, I should say, all the way around, I can start to be a little bit more liberal with throwing on the paint onto it, because the thin coats, as your base layer, you want them thin so it can dry and attach itself. And then once you have your base coats on there, then you can go ahead and just layer on the paint, and it'll still adhere to the model. In this case, the skull. Now, of course, if you layer on too much paint over detail areas, you will be at risk of losing some of that detail. So I got a whole bunch of this bare area here yet to do. And then this silver here has also been a little bit rejuvenated with just a clear matte. So it is translucent, so that's why it has been taking as many coats as it has been taking to cover the skull. But think this thing will look pretty sharp silver with a little bit of brighter highlights, and then we'll try a wash. So yeah, really, I mean, what why I've been painting these, not only as to differentiate them as markers, but also to experiment with my paint mixes. Because like right now, this whole bottle here is all mixed with water and flow ratio, and this is some leftover of that mix. And I have things written down. I've been keeping a log of what I've been doing as far as for my ratios. And I sure have been looking for more of these brushes, but I have not been able to find them. I had an opportunity to grab one once, and usual story, you think that, oh, I can get them later, and then of course then they disappear. And this bottom part, I just need to let it sit now and dry. Oops, I just smacked the other skull. So you can see that it's, I mean, even being wet, and prior to me putting paint on it, it did have like a pearlescent texture to it. So there's definitely you know, a silver particles in here. And then when it was more translucent, you saw more of the skull's yellow color through it. But as we add more of the translucent layers to it, it covers it up. But I want to touch just a little bit there. So I don't have gold made yet, but I'm kind of looking forward to making some gold skulls. And I don't know if I'll mix a base coat for the gold using gold and I'm thinking I might use raw sienna. Yeah, here, I just gotta leave that alone. That's just pushing it around. Alright, I'm gonna let that be. Let it sit. And then wash. And wash. And that's about it. So just a little bit, probably just a bunch of rambling. Maybe I'll speed through some stuff just to kind of shorten it up. And again, this guy here, he looks like he's about dry, but I'm still gonna let him set for 24 hours. Same thing with this guy, and hopefully tomorrow I'll have some more videos for you, and maybe some blue skulls. Alright guys, take it easy. Thanks for watching.